and the patient throughput is if we can have, if not billing patient on time because waiting for the new code or denial, so there might be 4 times as much denial as you probably experiencing today, and a 10 to 50% of the first 9 months of post-transaction of decrease in revenue. So let's talk about some of the options that we have. So some of the options that we have is Lytec is developed some mobile app that to help you with the transition. A lot of those mobile apps are free. Uh, you can download them from the iTunes store. I'll talk about each one of them. So this is the first mobile app. This is available for Lytec 2014. The mobile app, it works on an iPhone or it works on an iPad or iPad mini. As you see on the screen, it has 2 different screens. So one screen is for the schedule. So if the physician is on the road from anywhere, they will be able to see their schedule, and also they will be able to see their charge screen. The charge screen is designable. You can design it to the way you want it. So if you now thinking about a new way of having your super bill redesigned, that might be a good way if you don't have an EMR. So that will be a hybrid uh, method between better than paper and little less than an EMR, but it's the best thing in between. So that screen can be as long as you want. Now, when you're scrolling down a screen, because you have a lot of choices of ICD-10 that you want the physician to pick from, it might not be as hard as printing a super bill on a 2-page or 5-page super bill. So that screen is designable, and you can design. It's not that hard. You can learn how to do it yourself, or you can hire us to design it for you. Uh, the one thing that you probably will need us for is to secure your network, because utilizing this technology, it will expose your Lytec data over the internet, and you don't want it to get hacked. So this will be able. We need to secure your firewall, and we need to open certain ports, because this is, once you enable this, it's available anywhere in the world with internet connection. So if the physician is down at a Starbucks, or the physician is on from home before they come to the office, they'll be able to see the schedule. And if the physician is doing rounds at the hospital, they will click on that and send it. I'll show you where the course comes into Lytec. It comes just like if you have an EMR. Uh, so this is great for rounds. It's also great for billing company. I don't have any billing companies jumped on this yet, but my vision is, if I give this to my physician, it's not cost me anything other than this securing. Thank God the alarm is over. Um, I apologize for that again. So this here, if I was a billing company and I'm encouraging my physician to do this for me, you know how much paperwork this is going to save you. You know how much input is going to save you. You know how much uh, clarification this is going to be better than the paper. Uh, so the physician will be sending this to you. It will come into your Lytec. So you're not just saving on paper, you're saving on the labor of entering this inside your Lytec. It doesn't replace a biller, but it replaces a data entry. So instead of doing data entry, the biller will just uh, kind of like confirm that everything went fine, then confirm uh, that the orders of the claims are correct, or the transaction, then just go ahead and push a button and scrub it and send it out. So this is really nice. It's free. The only thing is the labor to secure your network and make it available on your devices. Available for an iPad, iPhone, iPad mini. So this is my solution for you if you the type of practice that have ICD-9 on your paper. The other way to get around this, or the other solution that you can have, is instead of, if the listing the ICD-10, there are too many choices and it's not feasible to print them on a super bill, I would have maybe your top 10 or 20, then have a room there for typing in. So my vision is the physician will walk into the exam room with maybe an iPad mini or an iPad. And I'm not mentioning the smartphone here because if a physician picks up a phone and start, clicking buttons on the phone, it might be mistaken where for the patient maybe they're texting their family or a friend. But an iPad mini, an iPhone, or an iPad, it will look more official, and the chart will look, um, the design of the super bill will look on the screen. And the other app I want to recommend is, if you go to the iTunes store and or you can look for ICD-10 apps. Some of them are free. The free ones so far, I found them do not have good rating. They only have like 2 stars out of 5. And the only one I don't see a rating yet, where it's the only one that I see that was sold, it's sold for money, is called the Precise uh, app, and it's a part of the training that I'm going to recommend for you. Look like I have a question here from Maryland. Uh, with the iPhone, is it necessary to have an EMR? No, if you're going to do the this here, you don't have to do an EMR. This is the hybrid method between EMR and paper. So this is a super bill that you design, or I can design it for you for fee, and the physician will be clicking on what CPT code to use and what diagnosis to use, hit send, and that will get into the biller, and the biller will start doing the billing. Okay, and so that's so you don't need an EMR to do that. As a matter of fact, if you have an EMR, it might not be feasible for you to do this because that would be redundant. If you have an EMR and you're still using a paper super bill, then yes, then do that. But if you have an EMR and the codes, by documenting the codes get sent from the EMR to the Lytec billing, then this doesn't make sense to use here. If you're doing it manually today, this makes sense that you download that app and start working on it. So hopefully that answers your question, Marilyn. Okay, the other uh, so the Precise app is $8. It's a one-time fee. You don't have to pay per month or per usage or anything like that. And my vision is the physician at the time of service, they will be looking up what code they should be billing, and they will enter that on the super bill, on the paper super bill, or even on this. Now, somebody's going to say, well, I thought Lytec does the ICD-10 mapping. Yes. Lytec will take all your ICD-9 codes and convert them to ICD-10. But you're not going to get all the codes, number one. Number two is, does the physician have access to Lytec at the time of service? And the answer is no. There's no billers they do their own. I'm not sure of a biller that has a screen and they do the billing at the time of service while they're seeing the patient. That's not really feasible. So now where I don't want it to happen is, I don't want the physician to think that Lytec or the biller is going to convert the code for you. You have to document, as a physician, you have to tell the biller is what code to use. Unless you have a certified coder, you cannot depend on the biller to give you what code to use or what you use in ICD-9 and what's equivalent in ICD-10. If the biller is able to give you that, then it will be, most likely is going to be unspecified. So it's going to be like an unspecified code. I don't know how long you will get away with billing unspecified. The whole reason of ICD-10 is you need to bill more specific and more detailed than we ever had in ICD-9. I was reading a comment on posted by Medicare, and they were answering the complaint of ICD-10 is going to be impossible to code because there's so many different options of codes. And the response was really wise, and the response was, by having more words in the dictionary doesn't mean that you cannot create a better paragraph or better writing. And I thought that was a really wise answer. Now, let's move on. So this is how the super bill will look. The electronic super bill will look on an iPad. Now look at the bottom right left corner here. That will be whatever codes you want, ICD-9, ICD-10, and the physician will be picking a procedure or CPG code from the top, a diagnosis or more than one diagnosis from the bottom, uh, something else from the right, and also